In this video, we will learn how to choose chords for a melody using both major and minor triads. This is the second part in a series. Last time, we only used major triads. This time, we'll add minor triads to our palette, but keep in mind that we're still not using any sevenths or extensions.
No seventh chords and all that.
Also, they'll be in root position, no inversions, which means if it's an A minor chord, A is in the bass. And finally, this will be using minor triads in a major key. Minor keys will be covered in a future video. There's a lot of music theory in this one, so check the chapter breaks if you just want to start by hearing the end result first and then come back for the good nerdy stuff. There are two ways we can approach this. The first is to do a major chord version first, where we choose the chords using only major chords, just like last time, and then we swap some of those out for minor chords. The other way is to approach the melody fresh and consider both major and minor chords at the same time. So let's try both. For the first examples, we'll use Musical Hall from Pokemon Black and White, like last time, so you can hear how it's progressing. But we'll also do it for a new melody as well. Plus, stick around because I'll have some homework for you. Let's start with the Pokemon melody and the approach where we start with major chords and then swap some out. To remind you, here's what we came up with last time using only major chords. Before we get into it, let's go over the diatonic minor triads in a major key. Remember, the major triads are 1, 4, and 5. The minor triads are 2, 3, and 6. Two and 3 share no notes in common. Meanwhile, 6 shares one note in common with 2 and one note in common with 3. So there may be some cases where a note is a chord tone of two different chords and we'll have to make a choice. More on that when we get there. When we're thinking about swapping out chords, a common and reliable way to do it is with functional substitution.
What does that mean?
Every chord in a diatonic key has a function, which kind of means a role that it serves. Functions are important because they can direct the flow of a chord progression. The reason 1, 4, 5, 1 works so well is because it moves through all three functions, which are in this case tonic, subdominant, dominant, and then back to tonic. The 1 chord is the tonic, firm and grounded as home. The 5 chord is the dominant, restless, giving us a desire to pull forward and get back home to that tonic. The subdominant feels like a move away from home, but without that necessary need or pull to go back. It does, however, move very nicely forward into the dominant. So again, that most basic of chord progressions, 1, 4, 5, 1, is tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic. Minor triads have functions as well, and so let's group the diatonic major triads and minor triads together based on their function. 2 is subdominant, which puts it in the same family as 4. Also notice that it shares 2 tones in common with 4. 6 is tonic, meaning it's in the same family as 1, and it shares 2 tones in common with 1. 3 is a bit of a weird one. Some people group it with tonic, since it shares 2 tones in common with 1. Some people group it with dominant, since it also shares 2 tones in common with 5. The problem with 3 is that it doesn't really feel as stable as 1, and it doesn't feel as restless as 5. I think it was Arnold Schoenberg who called 3 a most unfortunate chord. So which function you assign to 3 would be up to you and your preferences, the context. I don't really think there's a right or wrong answer. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go back to the point. Functional substitution. Like the name suggests, we can substitute a chord with the same function, assuming it still works with the melody. We'll go 1 chord at a time, and I'll start by adding tonic, subdominant, or dominant over every bar, so we can see what we're dealing with. First chord is 1, so tonic. We could substitute that with 3 or 6, but because it's the very first chord in the piece, I want to establish the key of F, so we'll keep it F. Next chord is B flat, subdominant. Our other subdominant chord is 2, G minor in this case. And unfortunately, since the melody is F, and F is not in a G minor triad, we'll have to stick with the B flat. Bar 3, we have tonic again, with C in the melody. In this case, 3 works, because C is a chord tone of 3. So let's swap them out. Bar 4 is also tonic, this time with F in the melody. So this time D minor will work just fine, because F is the third of D minor. Let's hear what we have so far. So let's keep going. Bar 5 is subdominant, so it can be either 4 or 2. The melody note D works with G minor, so let's swap it out. Bar 6 is dominant, which suggests either C or A minor. 2 out of 3 notes in the bar don't work with A minor, but other than this passing F, the E and G do work with C, so we'll stick with the C. Bar 7 is tonic. I think it sounds nice to have C come back home to F, so I'll keep it. However, in bar 8, we could substitute the tonic F for a tonic 3 chord, A minor. Let's play what we have so far, and then I'll explain why I like that A minor. Okay, so why did I go with the A minor? Well, in bar 9, we have this B flat chord. And notice how that A to B flat makes for a nice bass line. It's not just about what chord you use, but also what goes in the bass and how you voice that chord. Think of your bass line as your second melody, which we'll be able to do a lot more with when we get into inversions in the next video in the series. So we'll keep the B flat in bar 9. Bar 10, we'll also keep the C, since that's the only dominant chord that works with that note G. Bars 11 and 12 give us the exact same situation that we had back in bars 3 and 4. Tonic function chords with C and then F in the melody. So let's do the same thing, and we'll go with A minor to D minor. This also gives us a 4-5-3-6 chord progression, which if you've taken the course I made with Gavin Leeper, you might recognize as the Royal Road progression. Real quick, I want to let you know I have a brand new course out with Gavin Leeper, The Legend of Otoe, Composing Music for Anime and JRPGs, levels 2 and 3. In this course, we cover advanced harmony topics found in Japanese music, orchestration techniques focusing mostly on woodwinds and percussion, and we even have guest lectures on the traditional Japanese instruments of shakuhachi and koto. The course is from Master the Score. They're having an introductory sale until November 1st, so please check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, back to our theme. We're almost there. Bars 13 and 14, we have B flat, subdominant function. Since it's the same chord held over 2 bars, how about we split them up between 4 and 2? That way we maintain the same function, but we also keep the sense of forward movement in the harmonic rhythm. I'll do B flat in bar 13 and G minor in bar 14 because I like how the G sounds going to C in bar 15. Bars 15 and 16, we'll stick with that half cadence on C. Okay, here is the complete version of Musical Hall using both major and minor triads in root position. After we take a listen, we'll do one more, and then I'll give you your homework. This time we'll add chords to Poke Village from Monster Hunter Freedom 2. So here's the melody all by itself. By the way, it's hard to find very simple, clean melodies to practice this on. Most of the time, melodies have already been decorated with all sorts of extra chord tones and flourish, so our method really works best when you have the core skeleton of a melody before fancying it up too much. We're in the key of E flat major, and here are our chords in that key. Since we're in E flat major, I'm going to establish that right away with an E flat chord on bar 1. Bar 2 has A flat and F. So that will work nicely with an F minor chord, or 2. We have a few choices for bar 3. That melody note G would work with E flat, C minor, and G minor. It's tough because they all work in different ways. If we go with E flat, we're basically prolonging that E flat chord over the first few bars, with the F minor acting as a decoration in the middle. If we do the G minor, we have a nice stepwise climb in the bass, E flat, F, G. And if we go with the C minor, we add a nice dark tone. So here's the good news. I don't have to make a choice yet. I'll put a question mark over that bar and keep going, because what happens next might inform my choice. No musical decision exists in a vacuum. They're all affected by what comes before and after. So bar 4, we have B flat in the melody, so I'll consider E flat, B flat, and G minor. Of the three, I really like the dark tone of G minor, so I'm going with that. And that means I probably don't want G minor in bar 3, so that eliminates an option back there. But I still don't want to make a call on E flat or C minor until we look at bar 5. Here we have E flat in the melody, which means we can go with E flat, A flat, or C minor. I think it's too soon for the E flat. It kind of feels like we arrived at the end, halfway through the piece. The A flat is okay, but I actually prefer the C minor. The A flat is more positive and hopeful, being a major chord and all, and I'm taking a more somber approach with this. So C minor it is. Now we can make a call on that missing chord in bar 3. Even though I really like how the C minor sounds there, I'm going to save it. I'll go with the E flat in bar 3, because that way, when we get the C minor in bar 5, it will be a new, fresh color. Bar 6, we have F again. F minor or B flat are good choices. Again, I'm sticking with the dark sound of minor, so F minor it is. But now let's finally let in the light in bar 7 and 8, using an E flat chord for that G and a B flat chord for the F. So here's the whole harmonization. All right, now for your homework.
I can't believe that bitch gave me homework.
On the 12-Story Music Academy Discord server, I've posted a simple melody for you to practice with. It's just a melody only, no chords, and your task is to choose appropriate major and minor triads to support it. Post your harmonization to the group for feedback, and please listen to and give feedback to other people's work as well. There's a link to the server down below the like button. Next time, we'll start to make our bass lines more interesting by introducing inversions. If it's already out when you're seeing this, I'll put a link to it right here. Otherwise, just watch whatever YouTube thinks you'll like, because they probably know better than me anyway. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.